is going on, everybody? Today I'm working on replacing the new dash finally. Here's the old one. That kind of sits on here like that. I'll move the new piece out of the way. That's sat on there like so. Yeah, there's a screw hole there. So that's how the factory one sat, like that. But because I built this out in here with LEDs, and then I built it out all the way along the side here, and then put this new bit of plexiglass on it, and carbon fibered it. I pushed everything out for switch panels. All the switch panels and everything are pushed out, so this is too small. It doesn't fit anymore. So what I've actually done is I've got this piece here. I'll just move this to one side. I've taken a rough shape. Yeah, I got it where I want it here, and pretty much it's called scribing it. So basically I followed the angle here. I've left a little bit of it on top and then on the bottom here too, but there's enough so it fits in there. But the only other thing I had to compensate for was the old dash bent around like so. So what I did with this piece of plywood is cut a V channel in it and then just tack screwed on a couple of galvanized plates. I bent them to where I thought they would be and tack screwed them on. So what I plan on doing today is shaping the rest of it, making the shape work in here with the dash, make it all fit, and then make the top piece as well, and then hopefully put some glass, fiberglass along the joins here, join that to that maybe, and glass over the corner here, fill the knots in, and just make it look nice. So that's where we're at. I will check back shortly.
1 hour later.
Right, finally got it shaped to where I want it to be. Still needs to go down a little bit on the right hand side there. I've screwed it flat. I've had to add some bits of timber to it because it was bigger and longer and just stuff like that. But yeah, once I get it all sorted out, I'm going to give it some fiberglass Bondo for strength and then sand it down and maybe even glass the inside up so that it fits nice, and then bilge coat and Bondo and give it a real good nice surface so it'll look all pretty. Don't know how long it's going to take me, but then I can get onto the switches. It just unscrews from the bottom and there's 3 screws across the top like from factory, and this whole thing will lift off. I may even be able to fit a bracket under there and glass it in yet. I don't know. We'll just see how we go. Cool.
2 hours later.
Alright. This is where we're at as of this afternoon. I've sanded it up, getting it ready, got the angles bent, put a great big strengthener in there, L bracket, slightly bent it out, recessed it in with the multi-tool, and across, if you can see it, there's a bit of strap bracing that's got a screw really tight that way and a screw really tight that way. Hopefully you can see that. Anyway, in there, and that's taut, you can see it's taut there now. That gives us the curve of the piece of timber. So we've got a curve that runs across the dash like so. There's a block of timber behind here that screws up underneath here and holds this in place, and then to keep this piece of plexiglass that I've covered in carbon fibre wrap, to keep that weather tight or boat tight at least. I then made this piece left over from a cutting board, and that will fit on there once all the wiring's done, and screw in with these screws here and caps. So I'll fit black caps there, and that way you can always blocks off this gap in here. There's a bit of a gap in here. I packed it out at the bottom, so once it's all strengthened I can put that on, cap it off, and then figure out what I'm going to do across here to finish it. but that then will stop water from getting in there. No water ingress in there, and I may do the same. Just make a little shapely triangle up on this side and seal it, and then make it so that no water can get in there. And that way we should be protected from most things the elements can throw at us. So yes, that's where we are at as of now. I was going to go down and start bondoing, but I have a feeling it's late and I've got a whole lot of tools to put away. So for now, the shape is there and sanded up, ready for bondo.
The following day.
What's going on, guys? Over here I have my dashboard ready to go. Basically, I've cut out all of my bits and pieces of a chop strand mat, and I've got part A over here ready to mix up and with part B, and I'm going to start laying some fiberglass. Yesterday I sanded down all the bondo and got the shape right as much as I could, as best I could, and then today I'm just going to try and get it to hold its form and glass it in as much as I can. So we'll just see how far I get with this, and I will keep you posted. Cool.
One pathetic sob story later.
What is going on, YouTube? It's been a couple of weeks since I last posted. Went back to work, got the flu again. So yeah, it's been a
2 weeks.
indeed for me.
But that's okay.
Feeling better now, Sunday morning. Saturday morning, I should say. So this is where I got to last time. Quite disappointed, but it was the first time that I had
Actually,
fiberglass in a very long time, and obviously forgot about how to wet it out properly, how to fold it over properly, and just how to work it properly. But I did. I put a gusset in here, wetted that out, got that to stick. No air bubbles in that. Blocked up all these gaps here, which I'm just going to cut out now with a grinder. Successfully managed to, well, when I say successfully, there's an air bubble here. Grind all this out, sand it back, sand back the edges here that are like glass and sharp as. Gusset in here is good, and right down the front here is good. But then around on the edges again, there's just air bubbles everywhere, and I could not wet it out at all any longer. I couldn't roll it. It wouldn't let me roll. It was getting very sticky and tacky. So it's made a mess, but it's also worked. So today, I'm just trying to revive a brush here, which I know is a silly move, but you can't help but try. Today, I'm going to buff this back with a sander and grind it all back, keep what's good, and give it a second run over top of, and come down the face here, taking this off, glass in all the way down here, and try and get this looking a bit better, because right now it's covered but it's yucky. So I want all this to be nice and super smooth. It feels really nice at the moment with the resin on it, but it needs to be a lot more smoother. So time to go.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, I've rubbed it all back with a belt sander, got it all nice and smooth, taken the edges back, got rid of all the extended fibres, blew out all along here, got rid of all the air bubbles all the way through here, and along in here there was a big air bubble as well. So I've got my bits cut, and it's all been brushed down with acetone. So I'm about to get ready now and get this bit here done, and that should land some strength. Cool.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Alright everybody, this is where we are at today. After many hours after work, coming out, bondoing, sanding, spray puttying, finally got it coated in black. It's satin black enamel. I think it's enamel, although it did go on like acrylic. It went on last night. I put about 3 coats on. It's certainly not perfect, but when we stand back and look at it, it's pretty smooth under here. Looks pretty good. All the way down here, and of course these chunky bits here you're not going to see, because that's where it goes into, as you'll see on the video, that's where it goes into the end of the switch panel. So all around here and down the side is very uniform, very nice, and looking pretty, I mean, to the untrained eye it looks like the OEM original, but to me, I put a lot of hours into this, but it was fun because I ended up achieving a result that I can be happy with, and it should last for years to come. So this afternoon I'm going to put, with a roller, a coat of resin on top as a hard shell, just on the sides that we see, and the shells and underneath, and then leave it and let that set, and hopefully it will set nice with no runs. And then after that they'll be ready to test fit, which I already know. The only scary part is I formed the back out of Bondo, as I showed you in the earlier videos, and that's kind of a bit scary, but we'll see. If I'm careful with it, these two holes here are the locating holes. I'm going to measure where the third one goes and screw it in later. But anyway, that's all for now. I think it came up much better than anticipated, to be perfectly honest, but don't ask me how many hours went into it. Alright, several hours later I decided to go and cover it with some resin. I mixed it up, brushed it on, and I've just been monitoring the drips. We've got one at the base there. We're probably going to have a few underneath the front of the dash here. But as for the rest of it, it's made it very glossy, and if I can get it to dry hard without any crazy runs in it, I should be able to buff that back and it should be super shiny. Super shiny and super strong. So until I go and decide I want to try and clear coat it, yep, pouring, absolutely pouring. We're just not getting a break with our weather, and I know that you guys in California right now are burning up. It's just crazy. I guess it's been that way for ages, so we could do with some fine weather here, that's for sure. Alright, so I will carry on.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
Flashback. End of flashback.
We hope you enjoyed this brief construction montage.